Lights, camera, action. Picture this. You're sitting in a cozy theater, popcorn in hand, ready to immerse yourself in a thrilling movie. Suddenly, the protagonist bursts onto the screen, oozing with confidence. And what's that they're carrying? A shiny, badass firearm. Ah, the epitome of coolness, right? But hold on to your seats, my fellow cinephiles, because we're about to explore the wacky world of reality. Brace yourselves as we shift from the silver screen to the real-life corridors of power. Yes, my friends, imagine government staff, those responsible for taxes and paperwork, strutting around with firearms. Is it still cool, or will it just bring chaos? Well, I don't know about you, but I find it more terrifying than trying to assemble IKEA furniture without the manual. But anyways, for today's video, let us know why the IRS agents are carrying guns, and listen to what Tax Reform President Grover Norquist has to say about the weaponization of the IRS. Okay, to give you a backgrounder first, IRS stands for Internal Revenue Service. The IRS, or Internal Revenue Service, is the United States' very own tax collection agency. They are the hard-working folks responsible for ensuring that we all fulfill our civic duty of paying taxes. Think of them as the financial watchdogs, diligently keeping an eye on our income and making sure we contribute our fair share to the functioning of our great nation. At the heart of the IRS's mission is the collection of taxes, but they are more than just money collectors. They serve as the guardians of the tax system, striving to maintain its integrity and fairness. Like superheroes with pocket protectors, they work tirelessly to prevent tax evasion, enforce tax laws, and promote compliance. One of the IRS essential tasks is processing tax returns. Each year, we gather our W-2s, 1099s, and a pot of coffee to navigate the maze of tax forms. Once we've completed this adventurous journey, we send our returns to the IRS, who carefully review them, making sure our math adds up and our deductions stay within the bounds of reason. They're like the wise old owls of finances, keeping a watchful eye on our financial reporting. But what happens if our return triggers the IRS attention? Fear not, for they are not mere villains lurking in the shadows. They conduct audits to ensure compliance with tax laws and uncover any discrepancies. Now, audits may sound intimidating, but they serve a purpose: to maintain the fairness and integrity of the tax system. It's like a reality TV show where your finances take center stage, and the IRS plays the role of the discerning judge. Just be sure to have your receipts ready and keep those panic-induced cold sweats at bay. Now hold on, because I forgot to tell you something. Aside from them holding computers, papers, and money, they actually had guns in their hands. Some employees of the IRS are authorized to carry firearms. The primary reason for this authorization is to ensure the personal safety of IRS agents who may encounter potentially dangerous situations while performing their duties. What's more to this is that they increased the numbers of guns in this agency. According to U.S. Tax Reform President Grover Norquist,
now, or at least a few years ago when the Inspector Generals were looking at it, had 4,600 different guns and 5 million rounds of ammunition.
Yep.
That's not enough for Biden and the Democrats. They are out hiring today at least 360, maybe 1,200 over the next 3 years.
in the video, he clearly stated to add weapons and ammunition inside the IRS. But why is that? In an interview conducted by the Fox Business, Norquist said that it is not to really pull the trigger to the people, but to intimidate, especially those people who had a history of breaking into people's homes and scaring kids.
To intimidate? Back in the 90s, they got caught breaking into people's houses, scaring kids, going into businesses, and they had hearings back then that were so awful, they backed off.
It sounds like something out of an action-packed comedy flick, doesn't it? You see, the IRS, like any law enforcement agency, aims to maintain law and order in the realm of taxes. They're not just about numbers and paperwork. They also have a responsibility to deter and catch those who engage in fraudulent or illegal tax activities. To aid in their mission, Some IRS agents are authorized to carry firearms as a means of protection and, well, yes, maybe a touch of intimidation. Now, don't imagine a scene straight out of an action movie, where agents clad in sharp suits jump out from behind desks, guns blazing. No, it's not quite that dramatic. The purpose of IRS agents carrying firearms is more about personal safety and ensuring a level playing field in their dealings with potentially non-compliant individuals. In their pursuit of enforcing tax laws, IRS agents may encounter situations where individuals pose a threat to their safety or attempt to obstruct their investigations. The presence of firearms serves as a deterrent, reminding individuals that interfering with the IRS's work or engaging in illegal activities will not be taken lightly. Think of it as a symbolic reminder that the IRS means business. Like a pocket-sized gavel or a stern librarian's glare, the sight of an agent's firearm can send a message that non-compliance or fraudulent behavior won't go unnoticed. It's a bit like bringing a serious-looking dog to the park. People tend to think twice before causing trouble. But this idea of weaponizing the IRS has raised people's eyebrows. Some said that this idea was insane, and that no justification for an armed IRS agent when talking to people. Other citizens have said, and I quote, "We need a different system for taxing citizens. Income tax has too many rules that you have to interpret. If you guess wrong, then I assume an armed IRS agent will come to your home and hold you at gunpoint until you pay the difference." Others have also expressed the same sentiment and said, the IRS should never have guns of any kind because it is scaring people. But when Norquist was asked how dangerous it is that IRS agents are carrying guns, this is what he said.
There are heavily armed guys, but how dangerous are they? Dangerous to themselves as well as everybody else. The Inspector General reports find out when they pull the trigger, the IRS, half the time it's a mistake.
And so, where do we really draw the line when talking about these things? On a personal note, the IRS, like any law enforcement agency, wants to ensure the safety of its agents and maintain a sense of order in the realm of taxes. After all, nobody wants tax evasion turning into an action movie plot. By authorizing some agents to carry firearms, the IRS aims to protect its employees from potential threats and maintain a level playing field. But here's where things get interesting. Should IRS agents carry guns? It's a question that sparks debate. Some argue that the presence of firearms can be a deterrent, making potential wrongdoers think twice before causing trouble. On the other hand, some folks express concerns about the potential misuse or escalation of force. They worry that arming IRS agents might make situations unnecessarily tense. We don't want an audit turning into an action-packed showdown, complete with slow-motion bullet dodging and exploding tax documents, do we? Ultimately, this is a question that requires careful consideration. While we may find the idea of gun-toting tax collectors amusing, it's important to balance the need for security with the desire to maintain a friendly, approachable tax system. Perhaps the real question is, can we strike a balance between ensuring the safety of IRS agents and fostering an environment that encourages compliance and open dialogue? Maybe we can explore alternative approaches, like advanced training in conflict resolution or expanding the use of technology to enhance security measures without resorting to firearms. In the end, we want to ensure that IRS agents feel safe and empowered to carry out their important work. So whether they're armed with calculators, guns, or maybe even just a really witty sense of humor, let's encourage a discussion that leads to the best possible solutions. What do you think about this topic? Let me know in the comments section below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video.